Hey everybody, JRR here once again, and today I'm covering MMOs. Now, this is not to include the free-for-all battle arena MMOs that are out there. You guys know what I mean by that, like League of Legends, for example. I'm not covering stuff like League of Legends, StarCraft, things of that nature. No, this chunk of MMOs is mainly the MMO RPGs. Mainly. Just generally. Me personally, the whole MMO arena battle thing, in general, it's some people's cup of tea. It's just not mine. So anyone who wants to do a rant on that section of MMOs, how bad? Good luck. Have fun. But why would I go over MMORPGs? Because this is the one that seems to have the weirdest vortex, I should say. The weirdest vortex of everyone will dog one of them, but when I point out all the similarities between them, it's just going to be like a kick in the face, and it's going to look really bad for some folks. So let's go ahead and get things started, okay? Okay. Everyone knows what WoW is. World of Warcraft. Everyone knows what that is. Some people love it, some people hate it, and there's reasons behind each side, naturally. Cool, no problem. I have no beef with that. My only issue with MMORPGs is a lot of them will come up saying, it's a WoW killer, it's a WoW killer. It's got intuitive, engrossing combat. Example, Age of Conan. That was a big one that was all about the combat, usually for melee. And their system was pretty straightforward and simple. If it has a type of shield icon in the front, you cannot attack it in the front. You gotta attack from the sides. If the shield icons are on the sides, you can't attack the sides. You gotta attack it straight on. Naturally, if you attack it from behind, then by default, you should be able to do damage. Boom. Done. Simple. Simple. Calling this is a little tighter than it should be. I say this is simple, but picture, if you will, several people show up, several enemies show up, and you're fighting, and it's Bob, George, and Henry. Bob, George, and Henry. There's like 2 Bobs, 3 Georges, and 2 Henrys. So they're fighting, blah, 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 blah. It's only a matter of time before you forget whose defense has what. If you can attack Henry from the side, but you can attack Bob from the side, then guess what? You fight 3 people at once, you're going to forget who's attacking what from what angle. This became one of his major downfalls. Players could also adjust themselves to have a stronger defense in front or at the sides or etc., which was great. That made sense. But that's in a different section on the PvP side. But Double R, what's PvP? I'll define that when we get there. Moving along. After this whole situation with Age of Conan, people got a little disheartened, and it didn't quite work so well. Ooh, a worm. Well, I'm not saying that was the only issue with Age of Conan, I'm just pointing out one of the facets. Then came out, like, what was it? WoW's alternate brother, cousins, sisters, mothers, whatever the hell it was. And the graphics on that were beautiful. Oh, it's going to be a WoW killer. It's going to be a WoW killer. Same company. They made it, but it's going to be a WoW killer. Yeah. That didn't go so well either. There were a few technical flaws with it, and pretty much they just said, screw this, we're done with that. Star Wars Galaxies came out. I know this is not the proper order of when they came out, but yeah, just bear with me. Oh, it's a Star Wars game for the MMO. Yay, we got a Star Wars game. Yeah, and then it became almost damn near impossible to become a Jedi. What does housekeeping have to do with Jediism? Why do you have to take several different random secondary skills to pray to unlock Jedi? Doesn't add up, does it? But again, everyone would keep going back to bashing WoW. Well, WoW sucks, WoW's this, WoW's that, yada yada, blah blah blah, yakety, fucking schmackety. And me personally, I didn't care either way. I mean, it took even an act of, well, my first girlfriend was playing WoW, and I was like, fuck WoW. I'm not gonna play WoW, screw WoW, fuck y'all right in the ear. Well, after a little while, and presuming she was pretty much done with WoW, so I wouldn't have to deal with her ass. I'm not, don't confuse my personal ways of speaking. I'm not mad at her. I'm just mad at the situation of how things went down. But again, moving on. I finally started playing WoW, and I had no problem with it. Run through, pummel things. Hey, great, lovely. I had a great time with that. But here's the kicker. When I saw other MMOs, I looked at how it was set up, and amazingly, WoW hit something on the head after I don't know how many patches, but they obviously hit something on the head because every MMO was starting to copy that general format. Example, Champions. When that came out, it was like, oh, it's a superhero game. Awesome! We're gonna fly around. Great! And then you realize the buttons are set up a lot like WoW. At first I thought, no, that's just coincidence. That it just happens to be a coincidence. It just has to be. It's too coincidental. Then look at other games, Age of Conan, the other Warcraft, just Warcraft I guess it's called, Star Wars, Old Republic, and a lot of these other MMOs that are trying to be the alleged WoW killer seems to be set up identical to WoW. And holy crap. But the thing that gets me is the reason why WoW seems to be the one in decline is because everything has become more streamlined. Everything has become easier. And it's mainly because the development team is trying to cater to everybody, and it's hard. It's hard to cater to too many people. It really is. You can't please everybody all the time. You just can't. I'll go over that with the PvP section in a moment. All the MMOs are pretty much WoW with different coats of paint because of how WoW figured out the simple setup. They figured out this goes easily for everyone else. Well, I play a free MMO and it isn't set up that way. Really? It isn't? Really? This leads to the question of, have you even played WoW? If you haven't, then shut up. I've tried a few of those free MMORPGs. I've tried a few of those free MMOs too. I've had friends taught me into one, which was set up amazingly like WoW. I tried a cutesy little one that was all little itty bitty anime people, and that was set up like WoW. I tried one with immaculate graphics that nearly had my computer say, fuck this, I quit. And that was set up like WoW. Well, there's new games out there. The comments are engrossing. And then I got to watch someone do it on their live feed. And it looked exactly like the mage class off of WoW. The all-engrossing combat is something got close to them, they had to move. I'm sorry, if you're playing WoW and you're using a mage, and something comes up to hit you, the tactical logic is move! It doesn't make sense. But because they're used to playing things that have all sorts of defenses, seeing something that had made them had to run. Oh no, they actually had to run. They had to change their idea of what class they normally kind of play, and this combat's all engrossing. No, it's not. It's just a fucking mage, dude. You could have played a mage on WoW and got the same thing of run away. But don't get me wrong, mages are actually pretty powerful if they can be left alone for a moment to cast stuff. And when things come to hit them, it kind of hurts a lot. Now we're going to move on to the PvP section. But before I do, I want to point out that I did stress a lot that all these other MMOs, the free ones, the not so free ones, they all seem to have the major components of WoW. They just took different aspects of it and ran with it. Like the Old Republic, great example. The Old Republic is more of a forced MMO RPG. They force you to roleplay. They force your ass into that. Even if it's on a PvP server, they still force your ass into it. They make sure you roleplay a little bit. No, they don't. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. They do. They do. But in my case, because I'm actually a role player, it's not a problem for me. You know, stuff of actually having to listen to what people are saying. Yes, it does stretch out quests. That could have been summed up as, go kill George over there. Go kill George. Yes, I understand it could have been simplified that way. But as the roleplay element, it gives you more behind it. WoW just turned it into text, said boom, there you go. Read it if you like. Because they know, as well as the world knows, issue 2 is a problem in any type of RPG, video game, MMO, otherwise. There's a problem with issue 2. People do not read. BioWare is hoping for the best for their Old Republic. Well, if people don't read, at least they might hear what they have to do. People don't listen, but they might hear it. And as I stated in one of my other videos, like Know Your Role and... No, I don't have Know Your Role and Shut Your Mouth. I should make one that says Shut Your Mouth, but... Ooh. One video is Know Your Role, the other video is Do Your Damn Job. And this all makes perfect sense. Because I break it down. I can't remember which video, but I break it down. Most quests drop down into 3 to 4 categories. Escort, Assassinate, Bounty Hunt, FedEx. Pretty much most of those are self-explanatory. Bounty Hunt, you're taking out a number of people. Assassinate, you're taking out a named person or a specific target. Escort, you're trying to save somebody. FedEx, you're just dropping shit off. FedEx is usually paired off with Scavenger Hunt. Find this, 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 and this, and bring it to so-and-so. Okay, so there's 5 types. Scavenger Hunt, FedEx, Escort, Bounty Hunt, Assassinate. Boom, boom, boom. That covers all MMOs right there in a nutshell. Those are your 5 basic quests. But on to PvP. In PvP, what's PvP, R? PvP is player versus player. Can you give us any MMO non-related examples of PvP? Love to. That's a smashing idea, and it should apply the knowledge accordingly. So let's go ahead and do that. PvP, player versus player. First-person shooters. Halo, Call of Duty, Gears of War. I guess it's more of a third-person shooter, but work with me here. Street Fighter, that's a fighting game. Mortal Kombat, Dead or Alive. Fighting games, first-person shooters, where online fighting people, or you have a friend over and you're fighting them and you're going against them directly, one versus another. Plants versus zombies, one side's the zombies, one side's the plants, and you guys are going at it and one's trying to beat the other. This is what it is. That's player versus player. Unlike the other elements of the MMO thing I was covering, which was PvE. What's PvE, double? I know you're going to ask that. I'm going to go ahead and define that. Save some time. PvE is player versus environment. Ninja Gaiden, God, whatever. Mega Man. Devil May Cry. Pretty much any game with a story and mostly a stage. When the computer controls the situation and the environment, that's PvE, player versus the environment. That's all it is. That's all it is. It's not that difficult. The reason why we're covering the PvP part is because I can sum up PvP in the following. And like I said, since most of it is WoW, since WoW is like the central point of everything, it seems for the online MMOs, I'm going to use that as a good example. Message 1. This is from an anonymous person. Dear Blizzard. No, I don't work for Blizzard, really. That should be on disclaimer. I'm going to probably put that up there, but this is for a skit. Work with me. Dear Blizzard. Tanks are impossible to beat. I can't do enough damage, yada yada yada, blah blah blah. It takes multiple people to take them down, blah blah blah, yakety schmackety, blah 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 blah. In a nutshell, tanks are too difficult to defeat. Please nerf tanks. Signed, the healers. P.S. DPS is fine. Okay. Next one over. Dear Blizzard. Healers are fucking impossible to kill. We'll go back one. Dear Blizzard, tanks are impossible to kill. Go back to the second one. Dear Blizzard, healers are impossible to kill. Okie dokie. Moving along with that. Please nerf healers. Sign the tanks. P.S. DPS is fine. The third one can't be what I think it is. Dear Blizzard, why does it take more than 3 of us to take down a tank and more than 3 of us to take down a healer? I've never seen this kind of bullshit in my life. They're impossible to kill. Please nerf both. Signed, the DPS. PS, range DPS is fine. I can only imagine what the fourth one's going to be. Dear Blizzard. Melee DPS is hitting too fucking hard. We don't even have time to cast and or get our range to do damage to them. Please nerf melee DPS. Sign range DPS. PS. Tanks are fine though. Well, that sounds an awful lot like rock, paper, scissors, doesn't it? Dear Blizzard. Rock is too difficult to defeat. Please nerf rock. Sign scissors. P.S. Paper's fine. No problem with that. Dear Blizzard. Paper is impossible to defeat. I can't do it. Please nerf paper. Signed rock. P.S. Scissors is fine though. Dear Blizzard. Scissors is just going right through me. It's cutting right through me. I can't do anything about it. Please nerf scissors. Signed paper. P.S. Rock's fine though. That's the nutshell of the complaints on PvP. That is it, right there. People tend to forget, or tend to take leave of their senses, because they go, oh, if it's PvE, a tank should hold 3 to 5 people on them and be able to take these hits. But if you do it in PvP, and it takes 3 people on PvP side to hit a tank, they flip out. They lose their fucking mind. They go nuts. It shouldn't take 3 people to beat up a tank. Why? You go in dungeons and it takes 5 people to take down a tank. That's before the healer shows up. Healers can take 3 people on them. They don't want to. They don't. But 3 people get on them, they just heal through it. They do what they can. Really good, really strong healers can run right through 3 people. Hell, I have a healer that fought a boss that shouldn't have been able to defeat, but I simply outlasted it. No, druids aren't overpowered at all. Please nerf druids. Sign Death Knights. Fine, warriors and Death Knights. No, but seriously. On the PvP side, people tend to forget what the class is. If someone says, I'm going in as a tank so we can capture the flag, so I can take the hit, so I can get to our base, people forget that. And yet, when the opposing side has a tank, it's like, yeah, this tank is awesome. This guy's doing great. He's taking on 5 people at once and he's just not dying. That's awesome. If it's on your side, you're okay with it. If it's on the opposing side, you're pissed off about it. Hypocrisy, my name is Mud. Actually, hypocrisy, my name is PvP. But you see where I'm getting at with this. On the PvP side, people forget the roles. Those who remember their roles do really fucking well. But it's those who don't remember these roles that freaking flip out. Don't go in there one at a time. Well, I should be able to take a tank by myself. No, you really, really fucking shouldn't. No, you shouldn't, motherfucker. PvP is PvP. I get that. But in the same regard and at the same token, if they are a tank and they're made to fight multiple people, then you're going to need multiple people to take them down. Especially if they have a healer. If they have a healer, guess what? They are going to be the hardest motherfucker to take down. Because why? That's how they're set up. Now I'm trying to control my actual anger about this. But when I read through the forums, it made me laugh. Because some MMOs will push, oh, our PvP is perfectly balanced. And then they find out it's not. And then patches come out. And then the nerf hammer hits. And there goes another group that goes nuts, and they get mad, and they throw their own flags up there. And it's just kind of comical because when the nerf hammer, when the ban, not the ban hammer, the nerf hammer. What's the nerf hammer, Double R? The nerf hammer is pretty much when something is pointed out in game mechanics, and not Blizzard, but the developers see it, they put out a patch to correct it. Like my statements earlier in Do Your Damn Job, where if the person's tank's got this thing called vigilance or vengeance or whatever the fuck it's called, where if they take damage, they hit harder because they're getting pissed off, which makes sense. Well, they took it out of the PvP mechanic because the blood decays hit too damn hard. Oh my god, you got 5 people hitting them at once, so then the first person he hits dies! Yeah, because the vengeance thing, that's super stacked. And you're all staying in front of his way. But it's not fair. No, let's take a look at fair, shall we? Let's look at the paladins. One-handed weapons and a shield. Warriors, that are tanks. One-handed weapon and a shield. Druids, they got a staff with agility. They're not going to go to cap form to use the agility because they lose the vengeance bonus. Blood decays, a two-handed weapon, usually with strength. So, to put this in perspective, this is Sparta! Those are your warriors and paladins. They're Spartans. Then you see Cloud motherfucking Strife. That's a blood decay. Big ass sword, bigger than the rest of his body. But here he comes, plain as day. In both cases, the rest of the group were crying that these tanks were hitting too hard. I'm sorry, a blood decay with a two-handed weapon, looking like Cloud motherfucking Strife, and they are going to bring this big ass sword that's bigger than their body coming down upon you, and you're going to option A, stand there and take the hit like an idiot. Option B, well, there's like 3 of us, so I should probably move out the way. Or option C, take the sword to the face and die. I'm going to choose option C. He hits too hard. It's a two-handed weapon. Oh my god. And as I pointed out in Do Your Job, or Know Your Role, whichever one it was, since those two were about the same time, I kind of merged them together. But even after they took out vengeance, my blood decay still kills people. A lot. A lot. And I know better than to go back on the forums and look, because they're going to still say, oh, the IDKs are overpowered, I can't kill this motherfucker. Yeah, you can't kill this motherfucker because I know how to fucking fight. Read what your abilities do, people. Read what they do. And the reason why I made this whole thing about MMOs is because I started playing the Old Republic recently. Some of you may know. But the Old Republic is more of an RP element, but it's very much set up like WoW. The warrior is a warrior. They got charge. Granted, it's a flashier charge, but it's a charge nonetheless. It's a charge of a lightsaber. It's still charge. Charge is charge. They have their basic strike. They got their version of thunderclap. So in general, their warrior is a warrior from WoW, just given a lightsaber and more technology and less armor. I'm pretty sure that actually equals out somewhere, but I'm going to go ahead and end it here because I feel I've covered enough of the basic points calmly. I've actually covered it calmly. I'm not about to get mad, even though some of the points that I brought up were obviously stupid. You know, Paper getting pissed off about rock, Paper getting pissed off about scissors, but loves rock. I bring these up calmly this time because I'm trying to keep my points easy flowing. Granted, when I get pissed off, my points come out rapid fire and really blunt, like a fucking rock to the face. But I'm trying to keep calm, so you guys can follow along with me and keep up. So for those of you who think, well, no, other MMOs aren't like WoW at all. They don't have this button for this, they don't have that button for that. They just have this button to do this ability and this button to do that ability. And you learn your abilities this way and you do it this way. Yada 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 blah 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 blah. The simplest UI, user interface, happened to come from WoW. They got the general idea down to an art, and people started using it. They came out with the 5 general things for doing your questing, so everyone had to use them. When other games, other MMOs learned to look past that, instead of just going for gimmicks, I'll give you an example. Star Wars is actually, well, Star Wars, the Old Republic, implied flight missions, where you go in space and shoot shit and all that happy stuff. That's great. That it's still a little gimmicky, but it's still good because it gives you something else to do beyond just PvP and questing. That's great. That's wonderful. That's a great idea. That's stuff that that other MMOs, MMOs wise, need to do. You need to do something that can entertain people on a different scale. I'm just throwing it out there. This is JRR. Signing off.